This video shows you how to use a hacksaw to cut aluminium strips and notches from weather seal rubber draft excluders. Click on the link in the description for how to fix a loose hacksaw wing nut and as well as how to fit a hacksaw blade. The hacksaw has got a removable blade that can be used for cutting metal and plastic. And as a result of the teeth's alignment on the blade, the saw cuts on the forward and not the backward stroke. The blade selection is dependent on the type of material being cut. More teeth means smoother cut, and fewer teeth means a more coarse cut. So the next step would be to take measurements of the door and select the appropriate tool to cut them door seals. And in this case, I will be selecting a hacksaw based on the number of teeth the blade has per inch. To cut wood or soft materials, I will be needing a blade with a TPI of 6 up to 20. And for harder materials like metal or the aluminium that we've got in this case, I will be needing a TPI of anywhere between 14 to 36. And so for the selection of the hacksaw used in cutting the aluminium, for thinner aluminium we select a TPI of 32, and for thicker aluminium we select a TPI of anywhere between 8 or 14. So the aluminium in question is lightweight, it's a light metal, and so a higher TPI would provide a smoother cut, and so a 32 teeth per inch blade would easily do the trick. And so on the spectrum, anywhere between 24 to 32 should still give me a fine, smoother cut. As a 24 TPI hacksaw blade offers the most range, it's good for cutting aluminium, steel rods, and plates and more. This heavy-duty hacksaw frame is 300mm in length and 12 inches. It's got two sets of pins that allow the hacksaw to be used for straight and 45-degree angle cutting. And these are the replacement blades. The first blade, which is for the 12-inch frame and 24 TPI in teeth number, is a poor quality blade which will shatter easily. And the other blade is the Baco shatterproof bimetal hacksaw blade, which has got a TPI of 24 and fits into the 12-inch frame hacksaw easily. And so just out of interest, for the bow saw, we can see that, it's got a 24-inch frame and the TPI is 4, so the teeth is quite large and we're definitely not selecting that blade. The drill set, Stanley knife, hacksaw, measuring tape, scissors, G-clamps and the drill are the tools that will be used in installing the door seals. The hacksaw frame is supplied with one blade, and the blade in question here isn't a shatterproof blade, so if this snaps or breaks, I will be replacing it with the Baco shatterproof blade. The next step would be to cut this around door seal aluminium to size. So here I will be cutting off the short length of the door set to the size of the measurement extrapolated from the top inside width of the door frame. Suffice to say, cutting off 26.2 inches, which is the inside width of the door frame, from the short length of the door set, which is 35 inches. And as you can see, I'm pulling the rubber away from the aluminium groove so that it doesn't get in the way of the hacksaw. Marking up or extrapolating the 26.2 inches measurement onto the aluminium bar, and then cutting off half the required amount from each equidistant whole end of the aluminium bar, so that we can make use of the holes that have been drilled on the aluminium bar. So here I will be clamping the short end of the door set to prevent movement during the hacksawing process. I will be making a 90-degree cut so my blade is straight. If I were making an angled 45-degree cut, my blade may be slanted, okay? To fit a shatterproof blade, just undo the knob, get a different hacksaw blade in with 24 teeth, and for the 12-inch frame, reinstall it and, turn the knob clockwise to secure the blade onto the hacksaw. From here onwards, I will proceed to cut out the inside width of the door frame from the aluminium bar, which is 26.2 inches or 665mm, from the 35 inches or 940mm aluminium bar strip, and then subsequently Dislodge the cut aluminium piece from them two G-clamps. Then cut off the excess rubber so that it aligns with the top inside width of the door frame. As you can see that both aluminium pieces at right angles clash. You can decide to fit it like this, but it wouldn't give you a flush, seamless, aesthetically pleasing, neat, efficient seal. So when the top piece of the around the door Draught Excluder has been fitted to the top of the door frame, the side pieces can then be notch cut to create a neat, efficient seal. So you can see I'm marking out the impediment, the obstacle that's preventing an efficient seal or a neat mating seamless finish. So I've marked off that notch there, and I will be cutting that, out from the aluminium bar. So I will be repeating and reproducing the process as earlier highlighted in the aforementioned for both side pieces or the two longer strips of the door set to be fitted down each side of the door frame. Essentially measuring down the sides of the door frame. Extrapolate and cut out the measurement on them two longer strips of the door, and also mark off their respective notches and cut them out so that they have a seamless fit or finish to them. And you can see that if I cut off the marked bit that is in line with the raised bit on the aluminium strip, I will get a notch seamless finish fit to it. Okay, unfortunately during the notch cutting process the hacksaw blade snapped, so I'm going to replace them with shatterproof blades because them ones are not shatterproof. Okay, so I have swapped the blades for the shatterproof bimetal hacksaw blade, 24 teeth per inch, which is going to give me a very fine cut. And if the hacksaw blade isn't cutting through the aluminium strip seamlessly, then just slide it through like a bread knife. You don't need to take it back and forth, and it will do a pretty good job of cutting the aluminium strip. Just run it through one stroke at a time and it should cut the strip. And if you're finding it difficult to get any traction or bite at the initial stages, run it through one stroke at a time and you should get the bite you need through the aluminium strip. And if the blade struggles to get any traction, when moving it back and forth, change the orientation of the blade or flip it in the opposite direction and you should get the traction that you need. So it's pretty much up to you what style you use in cutting your aluminium strip. And you can see with both notches off, the aluminium strip at a right angle fits perfectly. The notch forms a nice tight seal with the slotted aluminium, and all I need to do from here is to raise the rubber and then cut the straight rubber side piece aluminium to achieve 78¼ inches. And as you can see, I'm just stroking it gently and you can see that the aluminium piece is cutting through. It's not a back and forth movement, it's just a fine stroke of the hacksaw blade. And when I get the desired bite or groove that I need in the aluminium, I can finish off with a back and forth stroke. So it's pretty much up to you how you want to cut your aluminium strip. And so here we've got a notch on the aluminium strip, and we can cut the rubber to bring the length of the rubber and the aluminium strip in line together or uniform. And so cut the excess with the scissors and then line up the straight door seal at the right angle with the top door seal. Repeat the process of cutting by running repetitive strokes on the curved rubber aluminium bar to get the bite into the aluminium bar, and then follow up with a back and forth rhythmic movement. Make sure that the aluminium piece is robustly secure with G-clamps so that there is little play when you're hacksawing through the aluminium. Where the side pieces meet the top piece, it is recommended that the corners be notch cut to enable a nice, neat seal finish. Okay. Do note that when cutting the around door strip to length, cut half the required amount of each end of the strip. If the rubber strip seems to have lost its tension and is wrinkly, pinch one end of the aluminium using pliers onto the rubber strip to hold in position, then pull the strip until the wrinkles are removed. My rubber strip hasn't lost any of its tension and it's not wrinkly, so I do not need to pinch one end of each of the aluminium strip bar using pliers. Just need to cut half the required amount off each end of the strip to utilize them holes that have been pre-drilled on the aluminium strip. Once you've cut the curved rubber aluminium strip to length, you cut the curved rubber on the aluminium strip to length as well by pushing in the rubber through the groove of the aluminium strip and cutting to the required length of the aluminium strip, which was extrapolated from the measurements on the door. Fitting the 2.5 meter storm guard rubber garage door seal is virtually the same process with the around-to-round door seal. When purchasing the bottom door seal, make sure that you check the width of the rubber. The gap under my door is 25mm and the width of this rubber is 48mm to cover the 25mm gap. That was about 30mm. I could only find the rubber seals in 12mm, so 48mm was what I had to settle for. After cutting off the aluminium strip to the desired length extrapolated from the door, you cut equal lengths of the rubber so that they match precisely. Okay, one end of the aluminium rubber door seal is fine, so I will cut the other end so that it matches exactly with the aluminium strip. If your rubber strip is wrinkly and seems to have lost its tension, apply super glue or industrial glue to both ends of the rubber. Stretch the rubber out and pinch both ends with a plier. So at this stage, we're pretty much just repeating the rubber cutting process. Click the description link for pinching with pliers. If you want to drill more screws through the aluminium strip, get a cobalt or titanium drill set that's slightly smaller than the threading profile on your screw. Center punch the desired hole and pilot and then final open size your holes with the drill bits. If you need an oval hole, use the body of the drill bits to push against the circumference of the hole. But if you need a circle hole, just drill right through. Use speeds 2 for drill bits 1 to 5.5mm and about 5.5mm. Use speeds 1. Just keep repeating and reproducing the process at whatever location you need the holes on the bottom door seal. And the same process can be replicated on the surround or around door seals. Just tailor, the hole you want to drill bespoke to the screw size requirements. And sometimes you may misdrill a hole or the hole may not be right on center on the aluminium strip. You can use the girth or the diameter that runs right through the hole as the groove guide or cutting teeth path for the saw blade. So you're using a hacksaw, you could hacksaw right through the middle of the misdrilled hole with strokes or the back and forth movement of the hacksaw. And that's about it really. If you found the information useful, don't forget to subscribe, like and share, help the channel grow, and hopefully catch up with you later. Thank you for your time and thank you for listening. Goodbye.